on September 6th, we have a new moon in Virgo. This basically means that the Virgo area of our chart is getting a refresher. We're reorienting our focus. We're renewing our commitment to that area of our charts. And if you want to know where this new moon is happening in your chart specifically, you can always join me on Patreon, where I do my monthly intensive and specially crafted video for subscribers, where I'll detail where the new moon is happening in your chart for your rising sign and for your sun sign. So feel free to join me there for the extended forecast. But in general, we have this Virgo new moon. Again, it's happening on September 6th. This is happening at 14 degrees and 38 minutes of Virgo. Virgo, of course, is our mutable earth sign. It's all about innovation. It's all about being able to be grounded, and we're not going to just like ditch everything, but we are open to change. Virgo is a sign that wants to stick to the plan. It wants to know the plan. It wants to make the plans, but we're always willing to innovate based on how things are twisting and turning and arising and shifting. So Virgo is like, oh, well, we're making dinner and we're out of that ingredient. Okay, well, what about this? What if we tried it this way? And so yeah, we're all about innovation, with an eye towards excellency, with an eye towards cultivation, and being able to perfect and become masterful of something is all about what Virgo wants to do. Virgo very often is motivated by helping and being of service. So, whether you're cultivating your craft of some kind, how can this be of service? How can this help people? How can this bring joy to people? Virgo is very much concerned with those things. So yeah, thinking about a new moon and freshness and creating new ways of operating, it's very fitting. And the thing that really comes to mind when I think about the Virgo new moon is that our work is meant to evolve. I think about it all the time about how the work routine has to stay fresh. The work routine has to keep us interested, especially if you're a creative person. Like, you have to switch it up when things get dull. You absolutely have to. And I think about that too in terms of what's going on broadly with the Saturn-Uranus square and how that's shifting industry and shifting the way that we live and socialize. It's pitching new ways of organizing our systems that organize our reality. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about this at the NCGR conference. We're doing an online symposium inspired by the Saturn-Uranus square, and I'm going to be talking about how it's affected industry in the past and how it is affecting industry now and potentially in the future. So we'll be exploring more of that at that symposium. Myself and many other wonderful astrologers will be there. But this new moon, actually, the Virgo new moon, exactly trines Uranus. The insight, the electricity, the lightning bolt, the download. I feel like Uranus is that strike, that lightning bolt of creative genius that is just like, I see it now, or that creative impulse to do something, to create, to take action on something. The insight, the trailblazing insight to do it in a way that has never done before, to invent a pathway forward to fill a need in the world. And I think we're at a time in the world where things are just innovating technologically in a way that they never have before, but also in response to the pandemic, which has really shifted the way that we conceptualize how we socialize and how we live. And so this new moon is actually in a trine to Uranus. So I think we'll be getting some insights coming in about how we can shift the way that we work, whether that's to our craft in general or a way that we can share our talents and our gifts and the things that we're cultivating with others in a new and refreshed way. Uranus is also the impulse for freedom. So being able to have more autonomy in the day-to-day life, perhaps, being able to create in a way that's more authentically you. Again, the ruler of this new moon is Mercury. And if you haven't caught it yet, maybe because I didn't release it yet. Mercury's going to be in opposition with Chiron, which I have a whole video about, but it's really about finding your authentic way. Chiron's all about leaning into your authenticities, even if you don't think it'll be well received by other people, even if your way isn't the popular way. It's about leaning into that, because maybe people don't know that the world hasn't seen what you offer yet. So how can we know if they're going to be ready for it yet? There's only one way to find out. So Uranus might say, it's time to really just go for it. Like, who cares anymore? We got this one life to live. Why not go for it? So going back to that Saturn-Uranus square, on one hand, we have the new moon, so the two luminaries trining Uranus. On the other hand, we have Mercury, the ruler of the new moon, fresh off of a trine with Saturn. So it's kind of beautiful. We have kind of this Saturn-Uranus square, which is rattling and shaking up and agitating the systems and invoking change. But they're both coming in by trine to the major components of this new moon. And so I think, especially with Virgo being a sign of innovation, without throwing the whole thing out, it's a readiness. It's a readiness for evolution. It's a readiness for progress. It's a readiness to shift and to change things up. So follow that lead. See what's kind of coming up for you around your Virgo process, around what you're cultivating, around what you're perfecting, around what you're trying to plan and organize. And if you're a patron or want to become a patron, stick around, because I'm going to go through where Virgo lands in each of your charts and how this energy coincides. So I hope that you will join me, and I will catch you next time. And if you're just here for the astrology shots, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you're here also. And that was your new moon astrology shot of the day. And I hope this new moon brings so many blessings and a supercharged, potent impulse of renewal and regeneration in this area of your chart. Thank you so much for joining me today. Timing with Transits is my 11-week mentorship on the art of forecasting and astrology, and it starts this week. So there's still time to sign up. You can check out all the details on my website, and I really hope to see you there.